Lyndon B. Johnson, Patrick Moynihan, Francis Gordon, the eugenics movement. How did all these people and all these movements play a part in the status of the Negro or black melanated people in today's society? Let's dive right into this and pick up exactly from where we left off at. So, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show is about to start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome. You must learn.
Alright, y'all. So welcome back. Alright, so let's dive right into this now. Let's pick up exactly from where we left off at. This notorious report written by Patrick Moynihan entitled The Negro Family, aka The Negro Problem. Patrick Moynihan, he wrote this social science report for Lyndon B. Johnson, LB Johnson, and LBJ, Lyndon B. Johnson. He worked for Lyndon B. Johnson, and in 1964, Lyndon B. Johnson commissioned Patrick Moynihan to write this report. And so what I'm going to attempt to do, or what I am going to do, is I'm going to show how all these things, even though a lot of these things and a lot of these people, we're talking about different time frames and you know, different moments in historical events, but I'm going to show how they all played a role and tied into one another. So let me drink a little sip of coffee. And let's go. Let's pick up from here. Just to do a little recap, for those of y'all that didn't watch part 2, I encourage you to go back and check out part 2 and check out part 1, okay? But let's just do a little recap to take you back. So, you see right here at the top, what does it say? Democrats use identity politics to coerce the black vote in their favor. Now, if you go online, you go to a place like fact checker and other sites, they'll try to tell you that Lyndon B. Johnson did not say these things. He never made these statements or derogatory statements towards black people. But listen, that we know, because this is how they all spoke back then. It was the norm. It was customary to get on TV, to post an ad in the paper, in a magazine, and just outright call us niggers, call us monkeys, all kind of derogatory statements they would make towards us. Back in the 50s and the 60s and beyond that, this was the norm. So, yes, this is what this man said, and these are the things that he said. These are quotes that came directly out of his mouth. Besides that, no matter what fact checkers and other sites may say to try and devalue or debunk these statements that Lyndon B. Johnson allegedly said, we have one too many quotes from actual people that lived and breathed that he did make these statements. I mean, you got workers, chauffeurs, people that worked alongside of this man. They said this is all he said all day long. This is how he talked. Nigga this, nigga that, nigga this, nigga that. And I think that one of the reasons why black folks love this man so, because listen, I saw a movie. What was the name of this movie? I can't really remember the name of this movie, but I think I did mention it to you guys in part 1 or part 2. What was this movie? I can't really remember it right now. But in this movie, Lyndon B. Johnson died. Boy, you should have seen the black people bawling. I mean, bawling. They were dying. Like God himself had come down and died. Right in front of them, before their very eyes. They were bawling. And so I think that a lot of people, black people, love this man so because in their eyes, he must have been pretty close to God, because so many black people then and today still deem Caucasian people as some type of savior or deity because Jesus, or because they are in the image of Jesus. Think about it. They share the same complexion, same hair texture, in many cases the same eye color. So when you see these one of these Caucasians, you see Jesus, you see God, you see a God. But this was no more than a man, plain, period, and simple. No more than a man. Okay, and because he worked so right hand with Martin worked side by side with him. Excuse me. Because Martin worked side by side with him, and they always made sure all throughout the news, all the time, they always were showing us clips of Martin sitting in the White House, sitting in the Oval Office with LBJ, having a discussion about the status of the Negro, the status of black people. What will be the outcome for black people? What will y'all allow black people to have? What rights will you give black people? And they made sure that we always saw images of Martin and LBJ. So black people got under the influence that because he was responsible for making the landmark decision for the Civil Rights Act of 1964 by signing it into law, people automatically say, oh, this man is a god, he's beautiful, this beautiful man. And when he died, people boo-hooed and boo-hooed and boo-hooed. Why? Because it's probably because of this man's statement and this notorious Moynihan report on the Negro family that we're getting ready to get into that made black people change their ballot from Republic to Democrat in the first place. Okay, so let's read. As Democrat President Lyndon Johnson was reported, this is supposed to be reported, to have said about the Civil Rights Act, I'll have them niggas, this is niggas, you know what it is, I'll have them niggas voting Democrat for 200 years. The Democratic Party prospers on the votes of the very people it has spent much of its history oppressing. Check. Democrats falsely claim that the Republican Party is the villain when in reality it's the failed policies of the Democratic Party that have kept blacks down. Check. I tell y'all time and time again, and I got another PowerPoint presentation that I put together. I'm adding some more things, and we will be going over that in the next video or so. But this right here, Democrats falsely claim that the Republican Party is the villain, when in reality it's the failed policies of the Democratic Party that have kept blacks down. Think about it. This is probably why black people are finally starting to wake up out of their stupor and their lethargy, because you're finally coming to see. Because this is the time for us to awaken. And it's happening all over the diaspora, all over the world. You see black people, melanated people, aborigenie, indigenous people waking up, lifting the veil. The veil is being lifted. And now we are coming to realize that, wait a minute, I've been voting for these people all these years, and look at my neighborhood. My neighborhood still look like shit. My neighborhood still smell like shit. Even though a lot of times it do be because of y'all. I gotta say y'all. I'm saying y'all because I gotta start taking myself out of these equations. Because one thing I frown upon and I'm constantly getting together with my neighbors about is cleaning up our neighborhoods. Cleaning up our neighborhoods and cleaning up behind ourselves. Stop living amongst filth. Stop living in trash. Stop even sitting around it. If it's trashy where you at and you outside, you on your porch, you on your stoop, wherever you at, on your block, and you see it's trashy, take the initiative to clean up, pick up behind yourselves. We were taught these things from little children. You understand what I'm saying? But getting off of that, look around the black neighborhood. Look around. Most melanated neighborhoods, communities. Look around. It's trashy. No one comes through to make sure that our lights, street lights are working properly. That we don't have cracks and bumps and all kind of dings in the ground that could cause you to fall, break your neck, crack your head wide open while you're just walking down the street. You understand what I'm saying? So what have y'all done? Look at our schools. Look at the jobs. Look at the cost of living. I mean, so many things. What has changed? So all of this is definitely check. Big check. Okay, now let's read right here. Here we go. These Negroes, they're getting pretty uppity these days, and that's a problem for us since they've got something now they never had before. The political pull to back up their uppityness. Now we've got to do something about this. We've got to give them a little something, just enough to quiet them down, not enough to make a difference. I'll have those niggas voting Democrat for the next, 200 years. There's no question that Lyndon Johnson, despite campaigning the landmark Civil Rights Act of 1964 and signing it into law, was also a sometime racist. Only on Mondays and Tuesdays. Not on Sundays. So, what does that mean? What does this mean? What is this? A sometime racist and notorious vulgarian who rarely shied away from using the N-word in private. Only on Mondays and Tuesdays. Not on Sundays. For example, he reportedly referred to the Civil Rights Act of 1957 as the nigger bill in more than one private phone conversation with Senate colleagues. And he reportedly said upon appointing African American judge Thurgood Marshall to the Supreme Court, "Son, when I appoint a nigger to the court, I want everyone to know he's a what? Nigger."
You know what they call a free nigger in North Carolina? Nigger.
That means no matter where you go, you'll always be a nigger to them. Rarely shy away from using the N-word in private. Come on, man. Come on. But check this out. I want y'all to check something out, right? So let's check something out right here. I'm gonna play a little bit of this video, and then we're gonna jump right over here to this Negro report, right? But I'm gonna play a little bit of this video because what was really on the minds of white America during this time? Now, this Lyndon B. Johnson Civil Rights Act, or as we see, he sometimes called it the nigger bill. This is in 1964, right? And then we have Moynihan was appointed to write this report in 1964, 1965, right? And so This right here, what I'm getting ready to play for you guys, is called The New Negro. This is a very old, rare clip, so you will hear some crackling and some popping and see a little bit of, you know, fuzziness going on. But yeah, this was in 1957, so look at the time frame. 1957, this is the mindset of white America, okay? So y'all sit back and let's watch a little bit of this, alright? So let's go ahead and let's check this out right quick. Okay, so, hold up. Let me click right here. Yeah, there we go. Let's close this up. And let me go ahead and play this right here. Matter of fact, let's jump here. Check out this part with Martin. Let's skip ahead. Let's go.
Judge J. Wadey Waring, formerly federal judge in South Carolina, a gentleman whose decisions in the area of segregation paved the way in a very real sense for what became in 1954 the
I can't open it up no wider because there's no pause and stop button.
Is unconstitutional.
So I gotta leave it like this. But what I will do is let's see.
Suppose we begin this discussion by letting me, well, first ask you, Dr. King, in your estimation, what and who is this new Negro?
I think I could best answer that question by saying first that the new Negro is a person with a new sense of dignity and destiny, with a new self-respect. Along with that, is this like a fear which once characterized the Negro, this willingness to stand up courageously, like a fear which, with a new self-respect. Along with that, is this like a fear with a new Negro is a person with a new sense of dignity and destiny, with a new self-respect.
Hold up. Yo. Listen, man. We love our dear brother Martin. May he sleep in power. I truly get and understand what Brother Malcolm was trying to do. I do. But referring to us and even agreeing to refer to us as the new Negro. Did you hear what he just said? He said that we have a... Wait a minute, play this back again.
Along with that, new sense of dignity by saying first that the new Negro is a person with a new sense of dignity and destiny, with a new self-respect.
See, this is what I can't get with, y'all. I can't get with this. I can't get with these terminologies, the Negro. Like we some kind of fucking endangered species or some type of, you know, species or alien species, you know what I mean? From a whole different planet, you know? And you know, just referring to us as the Negro, you know, like, and then him talking about with a reformed mind of dignity and respect, like, God, brother, man, you sleeping power, but what was you doing to us, brother? What was you doing to us? But he did come to realize in the end, and it's just so sad that it was the end. Because the minute he really came to realize and started to see with new eyes what was really going down, and started to realize that, wait a minute, they just using me. I ain't nothing but a token nigger. They using me and they don't have no intention on ever giving my people their 40 acres and a mule or their freedom. Fuck freedom, sovereignty. Excuse my language. Excuse me. Yes, I am going to refrain, or I'm trying to refrain from saying, you know, using profanity. So I know it offends so many people. So please excuse me. But Yeah, forget freedom. What about sovereignty? What about sovereignty? You know, like, do y'all even realize what the etymology of the word freedom is? You know, or what is the prefix and the suffix of the word freedom? Huh? Do y'all even realize or know what those two things, those two words mean? Huh? Because it's not freedom that you want. You want your sovereignty. That's what you want. That's what we want. Not freedom. They gave you freedom. They gave us some BS version of freedom in 1865 with this so-called proclamation, this so-called Emancipation Proclamation that Abraham Lincoln allegedly freed the slaves. When we now know he ain't free nobody. What he basically said was that if y'all can make it to the Union, the free states, you can be free. They ain't give us no help. They ain't give us no assistance. They just gave us a sack of old funky potatoes, huh? And told us, go on. You can stay here, free room and board, I can't pay you much, or you can go on and take your chances. And if you can make it up there, if you can make it up yonder, huh, to the Union, the North, you can be free. But, so, I mean, like, what's you know, like, terms like that, I really can't get with. I just can't. I can't get with terms like that. You know what I'm saying? I can't get with terms like that. You know, what did we have before? We didn't have no self-respect. We didn't have no dignity. We the new Negro now. We got dignity now. This the new Negro in 1957 because we marching towards freedom. We marching for our civil rights, which they finally gave us in 1964. You understand what I'm saying? Even though the new Negro had emerged way back in 1957, according to what our brother Martin just said.
Along with that is this lack of fear which once characterized the Negro, this willingness to stand up courageously for what he feels is just and what he feels he deserves on the basis of the laws of the land. I think also included would be this self-assertive attitude that you just mentioned. And all of these factors come together to make what seems to me to be the new Negro. I think also I would like to mention this growing honesty which characterizes the...
So, if you think about in the aspect upon what he meant, I can kind of get where he was going or what he was alluding to and trying to say. Well, he really did say it. But it's just the way he said it. You know what I mean? It kind of made it seem like, you know, like what was we before? Now we have all this self-respect. You know, but I understand what he was trying to say. What he was trying to say is that now today the Negro has come to realize that we will no longer be walked over. We will no longer lay down and just allow you to treat us any kind of way. We are coming for our share. We are coming for our piece of the pie.
Negro today. There was a time that the Negro used duplicity, deception to, rather as a survival technique. Although he didn't particularly like conditions, he said he liked them because he...
Alright, what just happened right there? Okay, so we're going to get back to that. I'm not going to mess around with that, guys. I'll get back to that. Let's jump over here. Let's get into this. Let's get into this. Here we go. This is what you want. This is what you're here for. Let's get to breaking this on down. Right? I will not be reading this entire report. However, I will be leaving a link in the description. I realized that I said I was going to leave the link in the description last time, and I did not do that. My apologies. But it will be in the description this time, and you guys can download this exact full-length 74-page report directly from the source where I got it from. I will leave that link for you guys in the description. Okay? And so let's go ahead and check this out. So this is the Negro family, the case for national action. Wow. National action required. The Negro family. Why did the Negro family, why did the black family, the melanated family, require national action? Why was this a case for national action? Why was our existence always a hinder to them? Because we never went anywhere in the world just pillaging, and trying to tear down someone else's civilization. But invaders, interlopers came to where we were and just took over and destroyed our livelihoods, forced us into living a life of fear, degradation, poverty, and just not even living, because it's not living. You understand what I'm saying? We were living free. We were living an autonomous life. We were truly sovereign. We were not looking to take anything from anybody else. But they came looking to take everything that we had and did so. And to this very day we are still fighting, just trying to get half of it back. Because we still have not gotten even that. But our existence, our being here on the land that we was always on, caused such a hinder for these people. Remember, in the beginning, it starts off to say this. And I'm just going to go through this real quick, skim through certain areas. I will not go through the whole thing again. Okay, but it starts off saying this. 200 years ago, in 1765, 9 assembled colonies first joined together to demand freedom from arbitrary power. Now, I broke down to you guys in the last part, what is arbitrary power? And who had the arbitrary power over these people, these colonies that they were, trying to escape from? We're talking about England. We're talking about King George and them. And we're talking about these settlers that came here escaping the tyranny of these people over there. Right? So, for the first century, we struggled to hold together the first continental union of democracy in the history of man. Okay, continental, let's look that up right here. Let's go right here. There are currently 28 countries with the EU. It should be noted that the United Kingdom recently voted to leave the EU and is currently in the lengthy process to do so. Okay, jump back over here. I just wanted to run that down for you guys. So, the first century, we struggled to hold together the first continental union of democracy. Continental union. We talking about the union of these colonies. See, it was always the plan for them to all come together and have power, whole power over everything. See what I'm saying? And so, this goes back a long time. This goes back. This goes back to 1765. Okay, and beyond that. Okay, remember, we going back to 1492. When you talk about our story, you going back to 1492. See what I'm saying? But the point that I'm making right now is that ever since way back here, 200 centuries, 200 years ago, 400 years ago, these people have always had a problem with our existence on land we occupied. So let's jump over here. Let's go. Let's keep it moving. I don't want to be too long. Alright, so here's where I left you guys off at, right about here. But to recap, I'm going to take you back up to the beginning. The United States is approaching a new crisis in race relations. In the decade that began with the school desegregation decision of the Supreme Court and ended with the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the demand of Negro Americans for full recognition of their civil rights was finally met. It was? When? Where'd they meet at? Because I ain't getting no memo. Did you? Did nobody tell me nothing? Did they tell you? Did maybe your grandma, maybe your mama, or somebody? I didn't get that memo. It was finally met. It was finally met, huh? The for full recognition of their civil rights was finally met. Let's read that again. In the decade that began with the school desegregation decision of the Supreme Court and ended with the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the demand of the Negro Americans for full recognition of their civil rights was finally met. They must mean that they finally met and had a decision and had a discussion about it, because they could not possibly mean it was finally met as in we were finally given full recognition of our civil rights. That couldn't possibly mean what they saying, right? No, because we still ain't get that. The effort, no matter how savage and brutal, of some state and local governments to thwart the exercise of those rights is doomed. The nation will not put up with it, least of all the Negroes. Okay. So in other words, it don't matter what bloodshed or whatever got to go down. It's just not going to be accepted that we not going to be given these rights. We not going to lay down and just deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Which is basically kind of like what Martin was trying to elude. What he was alluding to is that with this new Negro, we have finally come to a point. We have come and reached a point in the road where we've decided that we're no longer going to lie down and be passive. We're no longer going to lie down and just accept whatever you give us. No, we coming for our check, as Martin said. We coming for our check, and we coming for full recognition of our civil rights. And whatever bloodshed, whatever brutal, whatever y'all got to do, we letting y'all know this is what we want now, and that's just it, okay? The present moment will pass. In the meantime, a new period is beginning. In this new period, the expectations of the Negro American will go beyond civil rights. Yes, it will, and yes, it has. Being Americans, they will now expect that in the near future, equal opportunity for them as a group will produce roughly equal results. Being Americans, they will now expect that in the near future, equal opportunities for them as a group will produce roughly equal results as compared with other groups. This is not going to happen. Boom. This is where we were. So now, look, I'll explain to y'all how they used to write things into existence. Like, okay.
Smash that like button.
For instance, let me give you an example. One thing that they're famous for doing is going into the papers of one of their unalived relatives, going into the notes, the pages of one of their unalived relatives, and borrowing pages from one of their ledgers or their diaries. You understand what I'm saying? Their memoirs. They're famous for doing stuff like that. So when he wrote this statement right here, this is not going to happen. Listen, let's read it again. In this new period, the expectations of the Negro Americans will go beyond civil rights. Being Americans, they will now expect that in the near future, equal opportunities for them as a group will produce roughly equal results as compared with other groups. So we're looking to be treated as equals, always with this equals stuff, man. What is with y'all? What is with y'all? Who didn't hug you? Who didn't tell you you was pretty? Who didn't tell you was handsome? Who didn't tell you were beautiful? Who didn't tell you that you are accepted? Who did not do that? Because for some reason, you Negroes always need to be accepted. You Negroes always need to be treated equal. Equal to who? They're no better than you. They're no better than you. How could they be? When just about everything that they have and have built came from your ancestors. People that look just like you and I. So what is this thing with you that you always need to be equal? What is it? Why? Why do you realize who you're asking to be equal to? Do you realize? Huh? If you want to be equal to someone, then at least try to be equal to someone that shares your DNA, number one, ideologies, number two, huh? And y'all have the same common goal in mind. Number three, what do you want to be equal with somebody that don't want to be equal with you? What do you want to be equal with somebody that don't even share your same nationality, your principles, your customs, your beliefs? None of it. And everything that you create, they take it from you. But that's who you've been fighting with all this time to be equal to. See what I'm saying? It's alright to want your full share. It's alright to want your full share. It's alright to want your piece of the pie. But a piece of the pie should not be all that you want either. Because they gave us a piece of the pie. They've been giving us a piece of the pie. Don't you want the whole piece of the pie this time, or at least your own pie? That's what you should really be aiming towards. Your own pie. Huh? Not that white's only pie. Your own pie.
No.
And if you're going to give me a piece of your pie, give me the whole piece. Because they've been giving us, they gave us a piece of the pie. But the piece of the pie that they gave us was not even a whole piece of the pie. In other words, the pie is blueberry. They have 10 blueberries in their slice. You only had 5. And it's been like that ever since. Ever since. So So when are you going to stop asking to be equal when you should clearly see by now that's not going to happen, and just, aim towards your own piece of pie, aim towards your own pie, huh? How about that? But here we go. Being Americans, they will not expect that in the near future, equal opportunities for them as a group will produce roughly equal results as compared with other groups. See, this is the problem. Always comparing us. This is not going to happen. Now he's speaking this into existence. How do you know that won't happen? How do you know that? How could he have knew that wouldn't happen? Was it already in the makings? Were y'all already planning that we wasn't going to never get no equal opportunity? That we wasn't never going to get our fair share? Was this already in the making? Or are you speaking this, writing this into existence because by him writing this down, it confirms it? This is one of the things that we always teach. The thought starts with the thought, and when we write it down, we make it real. We make it tangible, right? So you think they don't know these things? You think they don't know these things? Of course they know these things. These secrets are secrets that they learned from our ancestors way back when. Okay? When the Moors, when we left Spain, when we handed over the keys and we left, we also gave to them our secrets, huh? So you think they don't know the power in writing down certain things? They know the power. They know that pen has power. That's why it is said that the pen is mightier than sword. The pen is mightier than sword. Sword. Turn around, it means words. Okay? But the pen is mightier than sword. Okay? So when they write these things down, they know that they are writing these things down and they are writing these things to an existence. They are writing these things into existence, okay? And one of the things that they are notorious for doing, as I just told y'all, is taking pages from one of their dead or unalive relatives. Like, for instance, they'll do something like, see this, read this, and say, this is not going to happen, nor will it happen for generations to come, unless a new and special effort is made. This is not going to happen, nor will it happen for generations to come. We really need to act on that. Yes. We really need to make that a reality. I mean, we have to ensure the fact that this never happens. That these words will become a reality. That this will never happen. That they will never get this equal opportunity or equal rights that they shout about, that they march for. We have to make this a reality. This is brilliant. This is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Do you see this? This is absolutely brilliant what Moynihan has written here. This is not going to happen, but how can we make this a reality? And then somebody else was saying, my word, I don't know. What do you think we can do? Maybe Cousin Constantine wrote something about this same particular problem he was having with his people during his time of power. So let's go and check out some of our dear Cousin Constantine's work, shall we? Winston Hand me that book up there, on that third shelf. Yes, that's it. Notes of Constantine. Yes. Hand me that. And then they'll take this book, and they'll go through the pages of this book, and they'll see what did Constantine do during his reign when he ran into problems with his people being unrest. What did he do? And there you go. They'll take that. They'll finagle with it. You know what I'm saying? They'll change a couple of words. Oh, look here. If we just change this word from for to of, that would solve our whole problem. And that's what they do. It's exactly what they did with the Constitution. They've changed one word. Take it out or put it in. Or maybe two words. And it changes the whole power behind that entire piece of paper. And it changes the whole dynamics of that bill, the whole dynamics of that decree, the whole dynamics of that document. They're notorious for doing this, right? So let's go. So yeah, he's speaking these words into existence. He's letting the reader know, not you or I, the unsuspecting reader, but the reader to whom he wrote this for. The people to whom are going to really see this. The people to whom this is really for. See what I'm saying? This report wasn't really for us. It just fell into the hands of us. This was really for them, so that they could sit back and read and see, yes, that's what's wrong with the Negro. That's what we must do about the Negro problem we're having. This is not going to happen, nor will it happen for generations to come unless a new and special effort is made. A new and special effort. What new and special effort were they making? Were they going to make, or did they make? What? Because after the Civil Rights Act, I'm gonna ask y'all, what have they given you? Because they already started taking away the woman's right to have abortions. Huh? In certain states, according to my baby girl, South Carolina is one of them. So that's where she's at. Right? And so, since this Civil Rights Act of 1964, what major change has taken place in the, or for the condition, the betterment of melanated aborigine people, and in this case, the Negro family? What? Tell me. What major, groundbreaking since the Civil Rights Act? What? You can't think of none? Neither can I. Because there have not been none. Ain't nothing changed. Nothing changed. All of these same things we still fighting for. How is that possible? Somebody make that make sense to me, man. Come on. There are two reasons. First, the racist virus in the American bloodstream still afflicts us. This is true. Negroes will encounter serious personal prejudice for at least another generation. There you go again, speaking shit into existence. Now, how you know that, bruh? How you know? All of these things ain't gonna happen for generation. First he said up here, nor will it happen for generations. Then he says down here, Negroes will encounter serious personal prejudice for at least another generation. How you know these things though? How you know? Why they always speaking things into existence? They always predicting things. Like, how do you know? Listen, back in what was it? What year was that? Was that
Smash that like button.